Success leaves clues. Every truly successful person I've studied throughout my career had one thing in common. It wasn't intelligence, though many were smart. It wasn't luck, though some had good timing. It wasn't connections, though relationships mattered. The one thing they all shared was consistency. They showed up every single day, did the work, and kept going when others quit. Most people think success is about having one big breakthrough moment. They wait for inspiration to strike, for the perfect plan to form, or for conditions to be just right. But success isn't built on moments of brilliance. Success is built on the boring, unglamorous act of doing the same important things over and over again, especially when you don't feel like it. I learned this lesson the hard way years ago. I wanted to become a better speaker, so I decided to practice every day. The first week was exciting. I was motivated, energetic, full of plans. The second week was harder. By the third week, I was making excuses. I'm too busy today. I'll do extra tomorrow. One day won't matter. But one day became two, then three, then I stopped altogether. Sound familiar? But you may not agree with me here, but I am proud to say that I speak 42 languages. Whenever I became German to speak English properly, I stopped altogether. Sound familiar? Here's what I discovered. Consistency is not about motivation. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Consistency is about mathematics. Let me show you what I mean. If you improve just 1% every day for a year, you'll be 37 times better by the end of that year. That's the power of compound growth. But if you skip just 1 day per week, you'll only be about 4 times better. Miss 2 days per week, and you're down to twice as good. The difference between someone who practices daily and someone who practices 5 days a week isn't small. It's enormous. Think about this. A person who writes 1 page every day will complete a 300-page book in less than a year. A person who writes 10 pages once a week will finish the same book in about 7 months. But here's the reality. The person writing 1 page daily will actually finish, while a person planning to write 10 pages weekly will likely quit after a few weeks because 10 pages feels overwhelming. The mathematics of consistency work in reverse, too. Every day you don't do something important. You don't just stay the same, you actually go backward. Your skills get rusty, your momentum stops, your confidence drops. While others are moving forward, you're sliding back. This is why most people never achieve their goals. They're inconsistent. And inconsistency is the enemy of achievement. But why is consistency so hard? Why do we start strong and then fade away? The answer lies in how our minds work. Our brains are designed to keep us safe, not to help us grow. Growth requires change, and change feels dangerous to the ancient part of our mind that just wants to survive. When you try to build a new habit, your brain fights you. It says, this is different. Different is risky. Let's go back to what we know. This is why the first few weeks of any new routine feel like swimming upstream. You're not just learning a new skill or habit. You're literally rewiring your brain, and your brain doesn't like it. Most people think it takes 21 days to form a new habit. This is a myth. Research shows it actually takes anywhere from 18 to 254 days, depending on the habit and the person. The average is about 66 days. That's more than 2 months of consistent action before something becomes automatic. Understanding this changes everything. When you know that the first 2 months will be difficult, you can prepare for it. You can expect your motivation to drop. You can plan for the voice in your head that says, this isn't working, or you're not the type of person who can do this. You can remind yourself that this resistance is normal and temporary. The key is to start so small that you can't fail. If you want to exercise daily, don't plan to work out for an hour. Plan to do 5 push-ups. If you want to read more, don't commit to reading for an hour. Commit to reading 1 page. If you want to eat healthier, don't overhaul your entire diet. Replace 1 unhealthy snack with 1 healthy option. Starting small feels like you're not doing enough, but that's exactly the point. You're not trying to achieve your ultimate goal on day 1. You're trying to prove to yourself that you can be consistent. Once you've done 5 push-ups every day for a week, you'll naturally want to do more. Once you've read 1 page daily for a month, Reading becomes part of who you are. Track your progress, but keep it simple. Put a calendar on your wall and mark an X for every day you complete your habit. Don't break the chain. This simple visual reminder is more powerful than any app or complicated system. Seeing those X's pile up creates momentum. Breaking the chain feels like failure, which motivates you to keep going. Find someone to hold you accountable. Tell a friend what you're trying to do. Better yet, find someone who wants to build the same habit and do it together. When you know someone else is counting on you, you're more likely to show up, even when you don't feel like it. When you miss a day, and you will miss days, don't use it as an excuse to quit. This is the most important rule of consistency. Never miss twice in a row. If you miss Monday, make sure you don't miss Tuesday. If you mess up your morning routine, don't throw away the whole day. Get back on track with your evening routine. Progress is not about perfection. It's about getting back up faster each time you fall. What happens when you become truly consistent? Something magical occurs. You don't just develop a new skill or habit. You develop a new identity. You become the type of person who finishes what they start. You become someone who keeps their word to themselves. You become someone who can be trusted to do what they say they'll do. This change in identity is more valuable than any specific goal you might achieve. Skills can become outdated. Achievements can be forgotten. But the person you become through consistent action stays with you forever. When you prove to yourself that you can be consistent in one area, you gain confidence to be consistent in other areas too. The process of becoming consistent teaches you that you have more control over your life than you thought. Most people feel like victims of their circumstances, their moods, their past. But when you force yourself to be consistent, you learn that you can choose your actions regardless of how you feel. You learn that you can create the life you want through small, daily choices. This is the difference between successful people and everyone else. Successful people have learned to do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. They understand that feelings are temporary, but results are permanent. They've trained themselves to act based on their goals, not their emotions. Right now you have a choice. You can continue living the way you've always lived, hoping that somehow things will change on their own. Or you can decide to become the type of person who shows up every day, who does the work, who builds success through consistency rather than waiting for luck. The choice is yours, but let me tell you what will happen with each path. If you choose inconsistency, if you keep starting and stopping, if you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you'll look back in 5 years and realize you're in the same place you are today. Maybe you'll have a few more experiences, maybe you'll be a little older, but you won't be any closer to your goals. But if you choose consistency, if you commit to showing up every day, if you force yourself to do the work even when you don't feel like it, you'll become someone you can barely imagine today. You'll have skills you don't have now. You'll have confidence you don't have now. You'll have results you don't have now. The time will pass anyway. 5 years from now will come whether you're consistent or not. The only question is, who will you be when it arrives? Your journey starts with one simple decision. What will you do today? Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Today. Choose one small action that moves you toward your goal. Do it today. Then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Force yourself to be consistent, and consistency will create the life you want. The choice is yours. The time is now. What will you do today?